Burton Creek Recreation Reserve is a freedom camp for certified self-contained vehicles only. It's located just outside a town named Clyde, and it's next to the Clyde Dam, which is on Fruitgrowers Road. The site is actually owned by Contact Energy, not the New Zealand government like most of the other freedom camps are. Contact Energy owns the Clyde Power Station. The Clyde Dam Power Station is New Zealand's second largest hydroelectric dam. There is a wonderful cycle trail going past this campsite, so you'll see a lot of cyclists here enjoying this trail. If you do park up here, it's great for cyclists if you do want to get out and about and try out that cycle trail. Contact Energy allows certified self-contained vehicles to stay on the land for a maximum of 3 nights. They've limited the space to just 15 vehicles only, so if there are already 15 vehicles when you arrive, you have to drive away and find another place to stay. Unfortunately, a lot of tourists don't listen to that rule and they take advantage by staying anyway, and it ends up overcrowded. Here in the Otago Daily Times you can see an article complaining about that. So it says here that campers who are overstaying at a Contact Energy managed site along Lake Dunstan have been warned that they risk spoiling it for everybody else as stakeholders consider closing the area during the summer peak because of these problems. So they're saying that they're getting more than 30 vehicles. It says here in the article that it's 12 certified self-contained vehicles, but when I stayed it was actually 15. So that's either wrong or this is old where it says 12 because it said 15 on the sign when I was there. So it talks here in the article about how these freedom campers are disrespectful and they end up using the area and blocking it off so that the boat users can't use it. There's a rowing club there. So the locals have been quite concerned about the behaviour of freedom campers in this area. I stayed in December when the weather was rainy and cold, so most of my photos show grey skies. The only other vehicle was this motorhome that's in my photos. So I had plenty of places to choose from, as there were not many other people around when I stayed in December when the weather was bad. There are no toilets here, and no fresh water taps and no rubbish bins. It's one of those freedom camps where you have to bring all your own fresh water with you and take away all of your grey water and rubbish with you. We call those pack in, pack out in New Zealand. If you walk further up where the rowing club is, you'll see there's a local council park that has a barbecue area with rubbish and recycling bins. However, do note that these facilities are not intended for the freedom campers to use. If you're staying as a freedom camper, then you're expected to take all of your rubbish with you. Otherwise, this picnic area will end up with overflowing rubbish bins, and they don't want freedom campers to do that. If you do walk up to where that barbecue area is with the rubbish bins, you will notice that there is a toilet up there near the picnic area that's supposed to be for the rowing club members only, and they did have signs warning that this is not for freedom campers to use. So do make sure you do the right thing and use your own toilet and obey the signs. The biggest downside of staying here was that there was a group of boy racers hooning along the road on Sunday afternoon. The local boy racers use this road as their hangout spot. They were doing donuts and burnouts near the picnic table area, so it was pretty noisy and a little bit scary even. If I was here alone and that other motorhome wasn't there, I would feel very afraid and I would have packed up and left rather than staying the night. But thankfully the bogans did leave after several hours, so they were gone by the time it got dark. The media in New Zealand always goes on about tourists ruining freedom camping, and you'll often find locals deliberately making life difficult for freedom campers because those small towns, they don't want freedom campers there, and as a result it's not uncommon at these freedom camps for local townspeople to show up and do donuts and rip up the gravel, which might be to frighten off the campers. The locals would much prefer it if campers stayed in the holiday parks rather than freeloading and jamming up their local parks with rundown old vans. But it's a really beautiful spot if you don't mind the locals doing donuts to intimidate campers. It would have been really nice to stay the maximum 3 nights that they offered, but I left the next morning due to the disturbance with the boy races. I think it would be much safer to travel this place if you were in a group with a few other caravans if you're staying here. It's a fantastic spot though, and I do recommend staying here if you are travelling in a group. I would definitely go back, but in a group. Happy camping! Bye!